Hi everybody, this is Art Hagland, and I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. We should all give thanks to the Lord for everything that we have. Clothing on our back, a roof over our head, food for our stomachs. In the Western world, in the United States and Canada, the majority of the people have more than the rest of the world will ever know, ever have, ever possess. So to start everything off, I just wanted to give a brief happy Thanksgiving and thank our Heavenly Father for all that He's done for us. Now on to this video's message. Calvinism is the gospel. Spurgeon said it, MacArthur says it, James White says it. Calvinists say it. Calvinism is the gospel. They use the term orthodox, which basically is saying the truth, the one truth, the only truth. So, the one true church. Every cult says this, that they and they alone have the one true church, true truth. Everybody else's truth isn't really true. So, what do we do with this claim that Calvinism is the gospel? Well, I would think that we should look up what gospel means. So, I just got out the eSword, typed in gospel, looked up the Greek words. The references are G2098. That's the noun form. G2097 is the verb form. And then I cross-referenced this with the Calvinist stronghold passages. Basically John 6, Romans 3, and Romans 9. And guess what? Neither the verb nor the noun, gospel, is found in those sections. In fact, the Gospel of John doesn't even contain the word gospel, the Evangel, or the term evangelize, the verb form. I also found that in 4 places, the Evangel, or the gospel, was translated by the Calvinists that translated the KJV into glad tidings. Not good news, glad tidings. So when you hear the gospel means the good news, and then you hear the 2 words glad tidings, you don't instantly associate them. But eSword's really good for this. I typed in the G2097, the verb form, and I found glad tidings 4 times, and I found good tidings an additional 2 times. Now it's funny that the angels came to the shepherds in the fields and they declared the gospel. They evangelized them. And the Calvinist message is not to be found there. You cannot find the distillation of the Calvinist message, which is commonly referred to as the tulip, cannot be found there. Yet the angel was sent to evangelize them. How is it that they were sent to evangelize them and did not teach them Calvinism? Once again, look through John 6. You cannot find the Evangel, which is the gospel noun form, or evangelize. Can't find it. In fact, preach the gospel is only 26 out of the 55 times that the verb form, evangelize, is translated by the Calvinists in the KJV. Now, I'm not a KJV only guy. I just grew up with it. It was translated by the Reformed Calvinists, and it's the most popular still English Bible. I do not hold any Westcott and Hort work as authoritative. It's garbage. The Vaticanus and Sinaiticus, garbage. Now, when I say garbage, I mean that the original material is corrupted. Reports from what I've read, the Vaticanus has had so many changes where they would put some sort of a material over the original copy and then rewrite, kind of like ancient whiteout, and then go on top of it. And in some places, words have been changed so many times that, again, I haven't touched it, I haven't seen it. Most people haven't. Even other people that have reported this haven't. So it's second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th hand, whatever. Take it for what it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt. But that it's 2 and 3 times thicker than the paper that it's on. They've got that many levels of correction for words. So you don't even know what the Vaticanus originally said. And you don't even know why all these changes. I mean, if it was correct, why would there be changes? Why would there be more than one change? We don't even know the source material for the Vaticanus and the Sinaiticus. So there's just no reason to hold them as authoritative. You know, I understand that there are other ancient branches, and I do not hold that God promised that translation was protected. And you can see my Facebook profile that several times I have shown that incorrect translation can still correctly transmit the proper understanding of what was being taught. One place might say writing, one place might say scroll, one place might say book, depending on the translator's personal bent. And it doesn't matter, because there's no spiritual significance as to the type of recorded material, whether it was just a generic a writing or that it's said to be in the form of a book or the form of a scroll. There's no spiritual importance to that. It doesn't matter how it would be translated. Doesn't. No spiritual importance to that whatsoever. What is important is that when the Calvinists will 100% of the time take the Evangel, the noun form, translate that as the gospel. 77 out of 77, they did that. But when it came to the verb form, evangelize, 26 out of 55, less than 55%. I was sent to preach. Preach what? There are people that preach hate. But you cannot use the verb evangelize and then hook it up with hate, because it necessarily means good news. You have to teach the good news. You have to preach good news. So it is often translated 26 times as preaching the gospel. But then the balance of the times, it is not preaching the gospel. It's not. So anyway, if Calvinism is the gospel, why is it that when the Bible talks about the gospel, those are not the places that are Calvinist stronghold proof texts? And why are Calvinist stronghold proof texts only places where the verb and noun form gospel are absent in the scriptures? Something to think about. I think it's self-explanatory, and I'd like to hear somebody like James White, John MacArthur, twist their way out of that. That's the only thing they'd be able to do.